And I understand that some people won't like the changes that we've made. But I say this with all candour. The Labour Party is unrecognisable from 2019 and it will never go back. If you don't like that, if you don't like the changes that we've made, I say the door is open and you can leave.
Hold on to your seats, people, something which Labour are currently projected to fail to do on a massive scale. In recent months, we've seen Labour's rating in the polls ebbing away in record time, and this month, two separate polls have predicted that far-right Reform UK would edge into the lead in terms of seats, with a hung parliament being the most likely outcome. Yesterday, however, a survey from Find Out Now projected a mass exodus away from Labour, and to a lesser extent the Tories, that would see Farage's snake oil company with a landslide victory of gargantuan proportions. Let's see what's happening. So, the poll in question was shared by Stats for Lefties on social media, and it makes for some pretty grim analysis, with Reform on 369 seats. That's almost 300 more than the main opposition, who would be Lib Dem in this case.
You gotta be kidding.
But there are, however, a few small positives amongst what appears to be a major shift to the right in the next general election. First off, the Greens would see record gains and end up with 16 seats. All 12 of the new seats would be taken from Labour, and while that would include Diane Abbott,
No way!
it would also see Foreign Secretary and Illegal Occupation Assistant David Lammy lose his Tottenham seat, which would also follow the pattern set by a recent council by-election in Haringey that I covered in my last video. Hit the link above or in the video description to see more about that. Good news for Scotland too. The latest poll reiterates what previous ones have, that the SNP will reclaim a majority in Holyrood, with Labour all but wiped out, and could even end up with fewer seats than the SNP and the Tories north of the border.
I think I can smell shite. Yes, I can definitely smell shite.
Another positive is that, with the exception of Lib Dem, who will have stealthed their way to 81 seats, the majority of the public look set to abandon long-established parties, or, as they currently stand, the three flavours of Tory. This is something I've hoped for in recent years, but I did hope that they would see through Farage's fascist grift and get behind smaller, genuinely socialist parties and independents. Why so many are convinced that a public schoolboy who went on to be a stockbroker will be a man of the people is utterly beyond me. Likewise, I'm disappointed that voters swallow the drivel that Farage and the right-wing press put out surrounding immigration, as if eradicating it completely would somehow rid the nation of its woes, rather than it being a benefit to the economy, which it actually is. And the real cause of our problems is austerity-laden capitalism and an ever-growing wealth gap. This is what neoliberal Labour under Starmer gets you, an open door for the far right because he's more bothered about booting socialists out of their own party that he's turned into Tory Mark II, and instead of challenging Reform when they started to make gains in the polls, he tried to outflank them on the right. Not only does this go against the Labour Party's core principles, but it's political suicide because, as he's now looking like finding out, people will still vote for Reform. Starmer was warned, even from within, since he was elected, and yet carried on with conservative policies, and we've seen his councillors quit on him, his MPs quit on him, and now the voters who brought him into power in the loveless landslide look set to do so as well. Speaking of landslides, I've had countless arguments online in the last 5 years about whether Labour's result in the 2019 election was their worst ever, as neolibs incorrectly claim. That looks set to be an argument that I won't have to have anymore if the Find Out Now survey is reflected at the ballot. The previous record loss of 91 seats set by Gordon Brown in the 2010 election would be eclipsed by a whopping 370 and leave them with just 41 members of Parliament. Please share your thoughts on the poll with me and why Keith is on course for a tanking. Could this even be cause for a leadership challenge before the 2029 election? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe and thumbs up buttons to help us out on the algorithm. You can now join the channel with a membership for just 99p with some great perks for you to enjoy, including exclusive content and early viewings, plus lots more. And you get to join the list of awesome people who support the channel that you can see on your screen right now. Hit the join button or follow the links in the channel description. If you'd like to make a one-off contribution, then please hit super thanks on the video or follow the link to our Buy Me a Coffee page where you can help to show solidarity and support the channel for just the price of a tasty hot beverage. All contributions are greatly appreciated. Thanks again everyone. My left eye will be seeing you soon.